Hey everyone, my name is Wedge, and today is the last day of the Eldritch Moon preview season before the entire set is revealed tomorrow. But don't worry, we still have some great cards to show you. Also, once the full set is revealed, we'll be making videos about each color, showing you the best cards that weren't previewed individually, so don't worry. You won't be missing anything. Last day of individual previews, let's go out with a bang, shall we? Rough translation. Working together is one of anything and 2 white for a sorcery with Escalate that requires you to tap an untapped creature you control to choose additional modes. You can either destroy a target creature with power 4 or greater, or destroy target enchantment, or put a +1/+1 counter on each creature target player controls. Why does white keep getting broken cards? This thing is so pushed for standard it isn't even funny. Come on! It's 3 mana to kill something, or anthem your whole team, and you don't even need to pay mana for additional modes. You tap untapped creatures. I don't care that it's a sorcery. If you're playing tokens, guess how difficult it is to get 2 creatures tapped. Not that difficult. Working together or collective strength or whatever this is called, it's standard playable. Easily. 2 versions of removal spell and an anthem effect for 3 mana and 2 tap creatures. You can't tell me that this is a fair card. It's unbelievable. Courageous Outriders, 4 mana for a 3/4 human scout. When it enters the battlefield, look at the top 4 cards of your library. You may reveal a human card and put it into your hand. Put the rest on the bottom of your library in any order. So, human version of Sylvan Messenger, but way bigger and for the same cost. Got it. It only gets 1 human, and it's not put onto the battlefield, so this is definitely not a worse collected company, nowhere near it. It will see a lot of play in limited though. 4 mana for a 3/4 with decent upside, that's well worth playing. Sigarda's Blessing is 1 white mana for an enchantment. You may cast aura and equipment spells as though they had flash. Whenever an equipment enters the battlefield under your control, you may attach it to target creature you control. I don't know about any of you, but I have a feeling that Kaladesh is going to bring some insane equipment with it. Just look at the standard landscape now. We have Open the Armory, Weapons Trainer, Kazul's Toll Collector, Stonehaven Outfitter. It looks like we're ramping up to some sweet equipment, right? Right now, there isn't much in standard in the way of constructed playable swords and whatnot. Just saying, this could be a sign of things to come. Past that, the card is broken, and that ability's broken. It's gonna haunt Commander for days. Getting to flash in Argentum Armor, Umezawa's Jite, Basilisk Collar, these are all standard practices for a deck that would run this. Sigarda's Blessing in Commander though, that's where we need to focus our attention. Ural the Miststalker, Kemba Ka Regent, Auto-Equip Sunforger, World Slayer. You all have to understand how fundamentally powerful this card is in Commander. Expect this to be a staple for the rest of time. As long as equipment exists, this card will be there, without a doubt. It's absolutely insane. Imprisoned in the Moon is 3 mana for an enchantment aura that can enchant a creature, land, or planeswalker. Enchanted Permanent is a colorless land with the ability to tap to add 1 colorless to your mana pool, and it loses all other card types and abilities. Blue removal for planeswalkers, yes, thank you! Blue removal at all is amazing. This blanks pretty much anything that's bothering you. Giant creatures, annoying planeswalkers, just everything. I love the card's playability. Beyond standard, we always have Song of the Dryads, and players love that card, so this is just another one of those, but more conditional. But still, the card's insane. Also, and I feel like this is incredibly important, clearly they're going to try and defeat Emrakul by trapping her in the moon. Question. The ability says Planeswalker. Emrakul isn't a Planeswalker. Are we going to have a Hellvault type situation? Is someone going to be trapped inside of that moon with Emrakul? Can it please be a member of the Gatewatch to make room for newly pissed off Ajani that we keep forgetting about? This is going to be an interesting end of the story arc. Just thoughts. Mausoleum Wanderer is 1 blue mana for a 1/1 spirit with flying. When another spirit enters the battlefield under your control, the Wanderer gets +1/+1 until end of turn. You can sacrifice the Wanderer to counter target instant or sorcery spell unless its controller pays X, where X is the Wanderer's power. Spirit Tribal Curse Catcher is here. Yes, sign me up. This is definitely close to another push the Spirits deck needed to be good. The synergies involving this card and Rattle Chains are hysterical. You can flash in the Chains and then sack the Wanderer to counter for 2, or you can flash in the Wanderer and surprise counter something for 1. Now that we have this, Spell Queller, and an enabler for the Queller like Spectral Shepherd and Eldrazi Displacer, the deck is getting some real legs, you know, if it was on the ground. Get it? Because They're spirits. Alright, anyway, this is very good for the blue-white base spirit control deck. I'll definitely be building it now. Multiple ways to deal with collected company is never a bad thing. Olivia's Dragoon is 2 mana for a 2/2 Vampire Berserker. Discard a card to give it flying until end of turn. Having another 2 mana free Madness Enabler is very good. The creature itself may just be a bear with wings sometimes, but do not underestimate the value of getting to cast Madness spells without having to pay additional mana to do it. We now have 3 solid 2 mana creatures with quote-unquote free Madness enabling. Not saying the Dragoon is going to be some constructed all-star, but having a repeatable discard outlet, that's very good. It'll never get cut from a limited deck, that's for sure, and honestly, this is going to do a fine job in a budget Vampires build for Standard if it ever needs one. You know, air flips into something you can't discard to. That leaves only the Condemned. It's just a thought. Noose Constrictor is 2 mana for a 2/2 snake with reach. Discard a card and it gets +1/+1 until end of turn. Alright, this is the pseudo reprint I was waiting for. Wild Mongrel is back, but definitely fixed. Still a 2 mana 2/2 that discards to enable Madness, but this time there's no color protection, and more importantly, no insanely abusable flashback spells. Remember, Wild Mongrel was infamous because it let you cast your Arrogant Worms, Deep Analysis, Circular Logic, Roar the Worm. It synergized with both Madness and Flashback, truly a nightmare. Easily one of the best creatures printed in its time. Now, the Constrictor definitely isn't going to hold the same value since the surrounding meta isn't as broken, nowhere near it. While the Constrictor does have reach, which is nice, it's only going to be as powerful as what it's enabling, which this time around is Madness and Delirium. If a Delirium deck takes off, you can bet that this will see play in it. Turning a 2 mana 2/2 into a 2 mana 3/3 while fielding a mechanic, yeah, that's constructed playable for sure. Even in a red-green aggro deck, discard something like Fiery Temper to it, Bastion for a ton of damage. Lots of directions this could go, I like it. Stunning Regrowth is 4 mana for a sorcery. Return all land cards from your graveyard to the battlefield tapped. No way. What? How is this fair? This is like the dream that so many players have been waiting for. Did the Gitrog monster get to design this set? You've got to be kidding me here. It returns all land cards. That's insanity for landfall, insanity for any graveyard-based land deck. Think Omnith, Locus of Rage, or Titania, Protector of Argith. What happens if you just squandered resources, all your lands, then just bring them back? How in the world is that fair? This card is pure chaos incarnate. We have decks that run Zuron Orb. Alright, last thing, tap all your lands for mana, Armageddon, bring them all back, lose your friends, enjoy. Wolfkin Bond is 5 mana for an enchant creature aura. When it enters the battlefield, put a 2/2 green wolf token onto the battlefield. Enchanted creature gets +2/+2. This is just a lowly common, but the reason I mention it is because it's going to be very good and limited. It isn't as powerful as Knightly Valor was, but Knightly Valor was first pickable all day. This is a fair version of that. Not having Vigilance is rough, but you do get the advantage of tribal support if you have it. Think Raised by Wolves, but tamer. Yeah, I like it though, gonna be solid in limited play. Heron's Grace Champion is 2 of anything, 1 green and 1 white for a 3/3 human knight with flash and lifelink. When it enters the battlefield, other humans you control get +1/+1 and gain lifelink until end of turn. They'll never stop printing good ban cards or human cards or ban human cards. This is getting unreal, right? This is just, I have no words. This is going to blow out so many games. Your opponent is all ready with their negate for your collected company. Nope. That's not going to work. Drop the champion, gain 1 billion life, and wipe a board. There is no hope left. There really isn't. This card is I don't know, man. I give up. Today we also got to look at our tokens of the set. Eldrazi Horde, disgusting. Human Wizard, gotta love those Delvers. Humans, they look upset, and spiders are creepy. Then we have our Horde of Zombies. Loving the art on all of them, sufficiently creepy. Last but certainly not least, bam! New Game Day Champion playmat. Pretty self-explanatory. The set's all about Liliana. If you like her, then you'll love the playmat. The art looks great, super creepy, love the colors, great stuff. And with that, it looks like we're done with individual Eldritch Moon previews. Of course, be sure to tune in all weekend for our Best of the Rest series, where we go over all the cards not individually spoiled. We got your back, so look out for those. What do you think about the set so far? Going into the full set reveal, how are you feeling? Are you excited, disappointed? What do you still think is missing, if anything? Let me know your thoughts down below. As always, subscribe for the latest and most reliable Eldritch Moon spoiler information you could ever need. This is the Manosaurus. I'm Wedge. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. This video is brought to you in part by TCPlayer.com. We're almost done with preview season, which means we're running out of time to get cards before standard changes and inevitably breaks again somehow. Spirits are clearly getting some love, finally, and you don't want to be late for that train. Rattle Chains is amazing, easily one of the best spirits in standard right now. I'm not saying you should grab them for $1.50 if you need them, but you really should. If spirits is a tribe you're considering, don't delay, it's too risky. This is a real cheap price for their power. Of course, you could always decide not to go for spirits, totally fine. How about Stunning Regrowth, right? That stupid land commander card. Seems a good a time as any to grab the Gitrog monster now that he has the best enabler ever. You can grab copies right now for only $3.25. He's such a popular commander, can't go wrong at that price. Click some links, help the channel, win-win.
What?